Welcome back. On today's video, I wanted to talk about things being hard. That's the focus of what we hear a lot in the media. We hear a lot on social media. We hear a lot pretty much everywhere we go. And life is hard. It's tough, and right now it seems like things are getting harder. However, when things get hard, especially when economic times get hard, that's generally where there's some opportunity. I remembered a poem-ish type of thing that I saw a while ago, and so what I did is I went back and I just Googled "choose your heart," and that was the phrase that came up in the poem. And there's a lot of people that are using this quote. You can see a lot of these are either memes or takeoffs or spin-offs of what it is. However, this is the context of what I was thinking of as I was remembering this saying. And just reading through it real quick. Marriage is hard, divorce is hard, choose your heart. And this could be any relationship. Relationships are hard, absolutely. Obesity is hard, being fit is hard, choose your hard. Being in debt is hard, being financially disciplined is hard, choose your hard. Communicating is hard, not communicating is hard, choose your hard. Life will never be easy, it will always be hard, but we can choose our hard. Now, anyone can point out caveats to this. Anyone can find things and say, well, this is out of my control. And sure, some things are. Medical conditions may be outside of our control. Economic downturns where you get laid off may be outside your control. They may be more in your control than you think also. But everything requires work. And this is very true. Being married is very hard. It's not something that comes easy. Initially, sure, it may be easy. You get in that honeymoon phase as people talk about it. But to be married for 30 years, to be married for 50 years, to be married for 10 years is very hard. It takes work. But then again, talk to anyone who's divorced, and being divorced is very hard also. Does this mean you stay in a bad marriage? No. This means you choose your hard. Choose wisely first, and then choose wisely as you go through it. But you do have the option to choose the struggles you will face. Obesity, sure, some people do struggle with that, but most people do not. Well, most people will struggle with it, but most people have more of a choice than they would let you think. The GLP-1 drugs are making that a little bit different. We still have to see what the ramifications will be for that. But being fit is hard also, but you get to choose that. And there are many ways to do it by counting calories, exercising, doing a lot of different things, but you do have a choice in what hardness or what hardship you face. Debt and financial fitness. Sure, there are some people who do struggle rightfully and are not able to pay all their bills due to situations outside their control. There are many other people who are not willing to make the sacrifices they need to be out of debt. Again, choosing the discipline now or being forced on later. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. Communicating, not communicating with your significant other or with people at work or with family members. One can be hard, one can become hard. And here's what I mean by that. So let's jump back in. A lot of these situations have to do with whether we're addressing things up front or down the road, whether we're taking the hard choices now or the choices are being forced upon us. With obesity, with financial fitness, let's take financial fitness because it's less politically charged. If someone is making bad financial decisions right now, let's say maybe the US government, or maybe someone who is buying the coffees, the cars, the things they want to treat themselves with now, but they're not being financially disciplined and saving money or paying as they go, they're going into debt instead, it becomes very hard to get out of debt. That choice is forced upon them as opposed to taking the choice initially, making the choice to be financially disciplined, and then going forward. So I just did a couple of quick Google searches, and with Google's AI, it gives you a whole bunch of things. Here's some of the sacrifices it takes to get rich. Cutting non-essential spending, living below your means, forgoing familiar comforts. Risking it all. Sacrificing sleep, reducing screen time, holding on to cars longer, working longer, canceling subscriptions, cutting back on vacationing, keeping an unliked job. All of these are things that are sacrifices now. Now, can people go out and spend a bunch of money initially, do it on debt, or spend everything they have and not save money? Of course they can. And then the choice will be forced on them to deal with the ramifications. I know people who have made the sacrifices up front, who have taken the second job, who have worked the extra gigs, who have done everything they can to make money up front, and when they get to retirement, they're able to retire more comfortably. Doesn't mean it's easy, but of course they will have better reserves. I also know people who have spent every penny they've had along the way, may not have gone into debt, but when they get to retirement, they don't have a cushion, they don't have savings, and it's too late to go back and make the money they need to be comfortable. So their hardship then will be to get through retirement on lower income. Sacrifices to lose weight, eating healthy, exercising, getting enough sleep, preparing meals at home. That's an interesting one because when you can prepare meals at home, it actually has less calories than others. Pre-portioned snacks, counting desserts, setting realistic goals, changing your mindset. Something I don't see here is counting calories and sticking to those. But of course, all of those take time, and of course, exercising. But these are sacrifices that people have to take up front. They have to do it as they go, or they can ignore all these, and then when you gain the weight, and take this from someone who has gained weight and has had to lose 40 pounds at one time, losing weight is hard also, but so is staying fit. Sacrifices for success, all of these different things. You're seeing that generally the choices are being proactive versus being reactive. If you make the choices initially, choosing the hardship, choosing the challenges that you will face and addressing those head on, you sacrifice initially for success later, as opposed to sacrificing later because you wouldn't make the choices up front. So sacrifice in marriage, and all of us know in any relationship you have to sacrifice certain things to be able to build that relationship. It's a give and take, it's hard work. If you do not, then the choice is generally thrust upon you of being out of that relationship, and either one is hard. The moral of the story, the whole point that we're seeing here is generally by being proactive, by choosing in advance which hardship, which challenge you want to face, what struggle you know is best for you at this time, by choosing that hardship, by choosing that challenge and addressing it proactively, you are in control. Contrasted with the people who don't make that choice, generally their lack of success in that area of their life is thrust upon them or is chosen for them. Be proactive, make the right choices, do it now so that you can have a better future. I hope this has been helpful. If it has, please give us a like down below. If you like this type of content, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you know someone who may benefit from this, please share the video. Thanks for being here. We'll see you on the next one.